My never I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there. I see them yopo.
Now, my mention story for. We don't have much time. Now, story was a very important story. Chairman is clocking. Wontumi instructed us to mine in Tano Nimiri Forest Reserve. Edward Ekuokun, former general manager, Akonta Mining, tells court. Chairman Wontumi ankasa, the former manager, no share Akonta Mining sunyina. Your friend Edward Ekuokun, and there occupy court. Tano Nimiri case na court, criminal case Wontumi jina ho court no. Now, I'm going to record no and Chairman Wontumi ankasa general manager no hwe Akonta Mining so nyina no or say or come a court at yase wura forest ni mu no ko this gold ko say nsuo eko boom in nua ese Ghana nsase no Chairman Wontumi na instruct you se koye we nka osan kende ya judge ne try judgment ni ekoye nim edian biem pa na yepese yete efa sa galamsey case we hu ede ebiem ne pese yete o court ede ebiem ne pese yete nipa na oye Akonta Mining general manager no o say omura Nimrim forest no na enye ono na instruct you Chairman Wontumi na friend ka say monfa excavators ni wuram mumbundua muntu amena monse koko monse nsuo o say Chairman Wontumi and instruct bronika say instructor bro fumu yaka say instructor ni twimu ya say oshewo say your way instruct. It is similar to forcing you because when you are instructed you have less opinion to say no. So every time you are being instructed, anything I call sojemua, you are given instructions. That means you obey before you complain. It is like I say, you have been instructed. It means you are being what? You are being forced in quotes to take care of a business. It was say, you foresee omo instruct you omo Chairman Wontumi catch omo so omo mbu de enquire ngu. Inti ye tiase si ade na ye gye e court. Ede na ye gye wo court. Ede na the see ye court ye waste time. Nipa na hwa Akonta Mining and say judge papa we ne ka say yenko bunsuo yenko bunua yenko sensuo yentu judge yenwie ne yenko fie yetete court ye den yetete court say yetete court ye den judge with all due respect Mr. Judge, what are we doing in court now? What are we doing? Akwana na ejuma no ode na hweso nyina no o si boga ene ma instructions ene de excavators ni wura nim ene sensuo ene tu gala ene budan ejeje ya bibia yesi case nko say nde ne o kire ya judge to be judgment ni ko yenim because I'm paying way we are just wasting time on Chairman Wontumi. We are just wasting time on Chairman Wontumi. And I believe, say, with all due respect to the judge, he or she should not push this case again. It's done. Ya can we see? Show na see. Chuck Norris moving na ende. Bruce Lee ada. Ye wie ade ebie pa na ya petie. De ne pese etie de say, why na ma to me ma obi ko wura asase ne so. Nipa na ko wura asase o se Chairman Wontumi na ma ne to me. Se se ayetete ha ye den. Bebraya ye ka nyina ye hwan na ma hwan kwan ma ne ko ye sa ewudisem no eno ano no hwan na ma instructions no ma ewudisem no course so nipa na okodi ewudisem no o say ma abrantie we friend Chairman Wontumi ono ne ka say ye nkoye asemasa long story bi eni ho we ngidwamu bi enim ena ye kwa aba ena your honor ena excuse me your honor ena lawyer Nkutagene your honor we are simple.
My lord, it's me. Sorry my lord, it's I. It's I, lawyer Nkutagene. Please, my lord, can you give me a time I explaining things to you? The case is old case. Thank you, my lord.
Thank you, my lord. Yes, my lord. It's an old case. This case is a finished case, my lord. Nkutagene has said it. Long be from your statutory court, they pass a makupeneti. Yeah, by my lord. Thank you. Please, can you do this? Can you change this document? Nina bro, for you can Nina asamba could you pity one a mayor could do a asa. My lord, The article to Yakoba Gina, ye tie, ye che, ye casokni, ninano, near passer baku my lord, one the kubu niano, one the go to assassino, one the Ura assassin my young man, the quines on koye, my lord, and a demuno, and my lord. Wait, to see a plan, bang. My lord, into me coffee and me cochown. And I say, me come myself never poor, my lord, Branebe bomb me cat, where ye do ya. My lord, kono kotometia, me wia, so wouldn't me just say, my lord, where is to see your aqua me rapper? My lord, Alpha, we are clocking. My lord, we are still clocking. You don't have to do too much, my lord. The finality has been finalized, my lord. Let us clock by this week. Clock it. Where did it be any, my lord? Let's not waste time and money on this. The near person long be any. The lotto doctor is a good Samaritan, my lord. My lord, he is a good Samaritan. That's why he has given me my own numbers. What are they? 3, 32, 64. You must be joking. 25, 17, 10. Sure, banker. My lord. You are. Let's not stress about this. My lord. We will clock. We are clocking. All right, let's take our business. Now, this is another story, very important. Endra, the president of the republic, John Dramani Mahama, Ekopie, the Volta region. And what actually happened in the Volta region, Abra President Ekopie Hono. What happened? And they say, President Mahama, say, and our reports about say, Omomuti, Eponano, Ewo, Volta region, no. Sebio insuno to duono ena sebio amanfo ejapade ne ade nyina say. Now we read this story now. President John Dramani Mahama has visited Fuveme in the Volta region to inspect communities affected by recent tidal waves and engage residents on both immediate relief and long-term coastal protection measures. Now, he noted that the area falls under the World Bank supported West Africa Coastal Area Management Program. That's the WACA. A 150 million initiative aimed at addressing coastal erosion and tidal wave impacts across vulnerable communities. The president assured residents that the project, currently at the design stage, will soon move into implementation, including the construction of sea defense system, groynes, and ecosystem restoration measures such as coconut tree and mangrove planting. In the interim, government is exploring immediate interventions, including dredging of the estuary to reduce pressure and mitigate further damage. In the president, Eko Hono One a year nipa omote a year a cry a friend of Fuveme. Ewo Volta region ekodi nkomo e na se wate se insuo no asoche sebio ebu ema ebu fosoma pam nipa ba nkofo fie ema sebio sei njapade na president Mahama ne omokasa no se okase aban ayantotoye na ntotoye no ni nyina ne se eye World Bank e de sika bi beto wa eye $150 million na sa sika ni nyina no de ebe nyina ne se eye omo motete empona no na nsuo no epi omo a sebio etu omo no World Bank idea na omo ne Ghana ban e de omo tira bom nyina so omo be ne se omo eba be make sure say eye sea defense no project na ye de aboa kese egu epona no omo ebe ye ni nyina na o se ni manim ya no eye aban tototo nyama bi make sure say eye omo titi insuo na no a epono eyi omo anase eyiri for omo no aban de entutuye bi beba a ode beje omo esiye na sebio atoyere nchem ento omo a omo te saabia no and the president catch omo say nyama bebre no ma yeso omo beye omo ba bedua eye de ndua ebi oso aye bedua eye nkube so omo resettle omo na omo ye sea defense na o say enche bia eye sea defense ejuma no ebe omo start na omo design nyina ewie na President Mahama ekasa no o assure eye Ghana for moti Fuveme says sebio munyina mu ye Ghana for na we de a natural disaster atoyenchema enye nipa na sebio omkose na sebio otwedi amponkwame ono ankasa ne poa osi no ana epoa oboy no eno na etinitini ne nemu a sebio etu yenuanom bi the president ni omkasa ka kire say omo oban no aban no ehye omobo say omo bepe enime ya baby am so enwa heha omo na sea defense project no omo start now. When you look at a year President Mahama videos a course so where the president actually paid a visit bumianhwe de see wo ho.
No, it's
Careful. I'm proud to see that this sea defense is still very effective. I remember in 2013 when I visited here, this road was half eaten by the sea, and then the electric poles were just by the road, and the sea had felled some of the electric lines. So the contractors had to reposition the electric cables over there and run a new line in that place, and then reconstruct the road, and then do the sea defense. And today, the sea defense is still looking very good, and communities are thriving. We're doing Blekusu 2, that's after Blekusu 1. So that will give sea protection all the way towards Ketu, and then the Waka project will take care of the rest. This is all the result of climate change. The sea levels are rising, and because of that, coastal communities are all affected. So it means the government has to spend more money to try to protect the coastline. But there's a very good job. You can see many years after I left office. I think we finished in 2016 or so. Many years after.
President Mahama, Eko eye onam kwan so Eko sra Ghana fo a omo sa constituency no gina no say okay said 2013 na omo ye sa sea defense we ewo Volta region na we ne phase 1 omo phase 2 a omo be ya eye fumevefo ni nyina no eho ni nyina no omo sa sea defense no o say sa nyoma we nyina no ye nyoma ye boa ama Ghana ejina ne na so nti ohun sa ekwan ye o say time obedi president 2012 no na baby a emoba ne guni nyina no na electric post na sisi wo in fact na insuo no kra etwa ekwan nim na otu o make sure say na ban in 2013 no omo yes sea defense no making sure say the abo eguo ama epo no sebio abo akonechi ma yi electrical wires ni nyina akọ the other side into no ka say we ni dwuma bia 2013 omo ye ya and then omo betuma ye more into na o kai Ghana for say these are some of the things that we need to be doing and why not even say obekọ nanim na eye inkura ewo eye fraw eye Volta regional insuo no asoche no na epo no etu omo no obe make sure say na ban we in the shortest possible time no IMF sika eye the World Bank sika $150 million no ombe yibi de aye sa sea defense project no ama eye awonafo ana ayigbefo no so enwo atomo President Mahama wa hye ayigbefo ene awonafo nyina ebo se oye president nko a NDC wa ban mu nko a JJ Rawlings the Tea Party ne de eye awona man no ana awona ekuro ana se Volta regional eda NDC akoma so na de omo be ye bia ma eye de nipa omo mu no enya sebio eye de eye bambo ene bibia omenya atena ye de ono wa hye ne ho bo ahye Ghana bo se awonafo nko a de enya de obegya omo abjeje mu nti ono atu ni nan ekọ ho ekosra omo a omo te ho no na omo Ghana 40 ase se saa de we bia no ba be no eye de bebi a eye atoyenchem no yesi no nti we ene de John Mahama enso eye now and ye nyina sorry no eye John Dramani Mahama we tutu ni nan akọ eye akosombo akohu damage ana eye eja eto akosombo a sebio ema Ghana nkane asem ekọ atwe kakra bi be a few days no and President Mahama visits akosombo commend VRA and engineers for swift restoration after fire outbreak and President Mahama ekọ ho no ono ade ni kohwe damage a sebio na AC senior generators transformers ehye wakosombo a within 3-4 days no engineers no more VRA ene eye omo eye de akosombo no etumi within 3 days 4 days ekeka nyoma sie ni a ama machines ni say adwuma no President Mahama ebo oma baso eka say he is very very surprised say omutumi edi adwuma overnight 24 hours and make sure say Ghana nkane na say gina na so sebio transformer aban esesane de eda ho koso nkane de bedudum kakra if say eye transformer na ye hyehyɛ ye tu transformer bi akane abekɔ form ebekɔ off ene ye hyehyɛ so ebekɔ na aba intene de the one will be ebi nsida but or say the agency VRA for workers engineers enyina back together as a unit as Ghanaians to save akosombo baby ejato no or say he is very impressed into some of the pictures damage and the John Mahama Eko Huona, it was crazy. On one case, he was surprised, say, akosombo engineers ne VR no etumi asama new transformers juma and the ama yenkane asem no ejina ne naso kakra into pictures ni bia. This is John Dramani Mahama and the visiting akosombo eko the extent of damage ejano edeba owie na one workers ni nyina etwamfo nyini fefefe na o ahye om say oya president nkwa de obe make sure say yenkane asem from 2020 eba yenkane asem egu time or buy or the Mary buy car power buy or bija or omo catch excess power MPP for buy be say yen kan yasem no so wasaba na ono mo be di djuma bom or make sure say djuma omo di bia no de ni so na support bia VR ni ECG any akosombo engineers ni nyina hia no obe make sure say omo ensa ebeka. This is President Mahama oko akosombo dam co visit bibia assembly see no. So you can see damage is see a jar a she akosumboa now 3 days ago na nipa bebre ADD president atem ADD minister atem small boys be on TikTok now omomane looking like say oh e bin see that in fact yen nyina yehu damage in the extent of the damage na enkwara bia sebio omu nim omo left from right some very dirty boys bia sebio ye form to a omodwen say TikTok nti and the inclusive be ni momuti they are popular no insulting the president and insulting the government no and the yenyina ehu kania na gina na so and the yenyina ti Ghana for the last 72 hours kania na ye de scream say dum so aba no and the kania na gina na so sabio menka say gina na so 100% but at least you say impenifo bo Ghana omoboa akekere man no it is samutna social media tna TikTok na modwen say small following bi amonya $100 na $200 ni Jimmy kakrebia sebi oni pebi so so no madwea mu say BBC a munya abotre entiem na mabetena TikTok Jimmy mo hono we will also follow you guys and end your career and that is our mandate because so why wadwene say obe misinform obe disinform obe sheda mu oni ada ho na why wadwene say oh ya politics so onya politics a ye be ma Ghana for mu say either say obe jai politics and also be politics that is what we do here enti so onya politics America politics. Say, oh, your politics are your politics. And that is the rule we are setting from today. Say, oh, your politics are me and wants to say, oh, your politics. Say, oh, your politics are me, oh, your politics. Now, by I say, me jeans and minimiansa, may your politics are framed there, you better end your career. And we are not going to stop. We are going to bring it on this platform. So far, you have found the platform with so. You are starting huma, but you the platform with so, and people will understand why we are aggressive when it comes to people speaking the truth. So when you raise up a kind of cry, why you say obey jandam or the platform ebe jandam abeda nipa, we will make sure we shut your career down. She Juma aban we ye. She Juma president we ye. She enkania transformers yes son of Ghana ha. Obviously, ye. Before Akoso we were having some power go on and off. Na ECG, the Ministry of Energy. Na Omo Mayehu said it is because of transformer they were changing. But it became serious when Nipe because she Akosomo. So it became crazy. And president any Abambakache say the rate at which Kanyano Dumukwechino because of Akosomo Ejana and Ankwasiafobi. Ebetina TV so I dum saba. Adena dede anamoya 3 days ago munya nende. It shows you say this government is working. It shows you say abawe juma and I can tell you on authority transformer no muchenyi and they are going to do it. If it's going to take them 4 years, they will do it. Because NPP are buying say and coming munyansa na nkompeso bobo Ghana they should have changed all these transformers. Omankasa accept to say transformers nyina say. So why did we sit there for 8 years? Inti Jomahama mbra no nsa transformers na nkwasiafo 40 mubi embe tina TikTok embe manu se buntu be keka nkwasiasem all because kwasia bi se onimu TikTok, all because Jimmy Fobi follow, all because when you duane bi di ochoba ye begu sa restaurant ni nyina, ye begu sa companies ni nyina. We will go after the companies who are giving you dimes to eat, because when you ready some kind of credit. And every single company you people work for, we will go after them. We will make sure we take Manu Adrian free man. My catch them, my promise them. Me ejuma we my yacho. I have seen the emotional part, the spiritual part, the physical part. Me part, I am Conan the Destroyer. So why you say, oh, but your entertainment, your entertainment? And I'm not stopping anybody from speaking on national issues. But if you decide to do that, make sure you are doing it right, in the right way. Make sure you are not jandamming. So what you going to say? Oh, but bibi a friend, content creation was a creating a cheap, but I will come after you. And me, I never get tired because I have time. Me full-time job ni. Me nye jume bia nke juma we ho. Me japade wo wiase nyina me juma me ye we nam de ye. Until this is my job. Me nya soccer player, me nya assemblyman, me nya politician, me juma nie. Until you have to understand, I have time. I can follow you every single day. Until obianka sabwan hye yem. But if you are doing entertainment, do entertainment. If you are doing politics, do politics. So person will cut politics in some, be honest. That is all. But some of my say, mo person money eshia, ye ne betuma report. When am poor, ye ne report. Mon go back and check the number of people you know my report. We are still here. It's any our time. This government is working. Yen Kenyan some say age so people are appreciating the job the ECG is doing. Foolish boys and girls. Mo, you have no idea. Mo transform as a yes sano. Mistake ba ko ba pe nipa bewu. Kwasi ampanyi wenya a dine time bitima ya the China for why na afefe mu akwasi asem abobra. Enti o betna TikTok abekeka nkwasi asem ye kan why wa no se buntu abekeka nkwasi asem. Hey, me say ye ne what time o. We have all the time on this planet. And my job here, I'm not saying some more Obian criticizing NDC aban. No, I'm not saying that. But some person criticizing NDC aban. Make sure you are speaking the truth. Say, why you say, oh, the jandam with him, I will come after you. There are people we helped. Ya wankofo ya bua omo. At the point, ya anje kapre from who, but omo jimi intende, they are struggling. Intimino, I will not entertain any kind of, now me say, there is no media house in Ghana that is powerful than my media platform. Miracle, I will never go on any, the only media platform Makoso, out of respect and love, for Ransford Cable at your Radio Good. No media house in Ghana is bigger than my radio station or my TV station. No media house. So nobody should think say Mako radio the TV so you can use that to come and counter me. Me. Afeni has started. Afeni me draw plan. Na me wie plan na. Me say dia mu be di kura be di amamo. Me say afeni has started plan. Na me wie plan. Dia mu be di e be di amamo. And I'll have to teach you people a small lesson. Most ankwara mu go TikTok ni Facebook no. Ya be chere mo small lesson. Small lesson. Me no media house in Ghana. I will never get up and say, apart from Radio Good, I'm quoting radio, be so obi interview me. Now, journalists ben or Ghana, onimi nyansa, onime juma chen me obe interview me. Journalists ben or Ghana. Who? And the baby some questioner. That question makes a way there. Who? Say, why na what Ghana or na about Ghana, me say me people obi interview me. Na my bodam. So I want you people to understand. Me strategy when you know. So person who didn't kakra stick to what you do. So person basa filled we mudia and you're ready. Because and you Conan the Destroyers negua. Makama semiwi. Now, I mention another story, a very, very important story. And as I'm kesiye, a very important story is see. Na ni nyina saying, Ibrahim Mahama, or the CEO of Diamond Mine. And or the first a year gold that way too. waton sa gold no e de ama the gold board of Ghana. And you see, mama chawa debi. The amount this thing a year history and they say sa gold ya Ibrahim Mahama legitimately obe take over Daman mine legitimately ya wetua odiama Ghana say ye wato ama ye no anka sa gold we nyina anka abrofo no nebefa. Do you know that? Now, Chief Executive Officer of Engineers and Planners Ibrahim Mahama has made a part payment of 2 million out of the 5 million pledge to the Black Stars fundraising campaign. Ibrahim Mahama a pledge say obetua $5 million e dey support Black Stars a year World Cup omobano and the America say ewe ya wotua $2 million out of the $3 million, $5 million, and that is just one. Now, the main thing I want to discuss, is not even about the donation. The donation there, we'll talk about it. And Ibrahim Mahama or taking over Daman mine legitimately with all the experience why you over 27 years in the mining sector the first gold I went to, which is over 150 million. Let me get the figures right. The first gold Ibrahim Mahama etu, which is worth about, in fact, let me just show you. It's about 110 kilograms. 110 kilograms. Gold that Ibrahim Mahama to the first gold that went to, or the gold in my gold board is omonto. Now you have Ghana. Now yeah, reserves no you have been tour. So you can see today Ibrahim Mahama Sami Jemfi went to a year Ibrahim Mahama gold board Daman mine. They came to a year gold board and the say gold omudi ni nyina ba e be kire omo and omo check a year quality quantity so you can see Ibrahim Mahama showing up there with the workers any gold na omo etua omo ton e ama e de Ghana so this is the gold Ibrahim Mahama mo etumi etu omo first gold 110 kilograms gold tele and there or say on ton ma brofo on koton ma Chinese for on koton ma America for waton gold e de ama gold board waton 110 kilograms of gold watam gold ni nyina e de ama den gold board. Do not sit there and sa gold we nyina no sa 110 kilograms sa gold we nyina no anka ye de abrofo na nka na omudi Daman gold mine no so anka omode be kwa abrochire anka abrofo de gold we nyina ekọ anka ometam sa gold 110 kilograms anka omode ni nyina ekọ kienya kapre ebi anka benya mu 1% pe enso ende Ghana ni etu Ghana gold no ode ama Ghana se Ghana nto na Ghana nto nyamfa so. And this is what we keep talking to you people about. Yemu biye jiminti, MPP for jiminti. Now let's go listen to Sami Jemfi time Ibrahim Mahama, engineers and planners. Eba ya ombe handi over a year gold to a year gold board.
This is also a vindication for those of us who made all manner of mischief about the legitimate acquisition of this Daman mine by EMP. I mean, this is your vindication right here. This, we've never seen anything like this on the part of any major large-scale mining company. And that is not to spite them. Of course, they are not Ghanaians, so you know they don't need a Ghana city. Yeah. But when you have a Ghanaian at the helm of affairs of a large-scale mining company, he's okay if the Bank of Ghana and the gold board says, sell your gold to us, we'll pay Ghana cedis. We are not paying dollars for this. We are paying cedis, and the gold will stay here. And then we can sell the gold for dollars, or we can keep the gold in our reserves, and generations after generations will come and benefit from that. The fact that we are getting 110 kilograms of gold from Daman gold mine, and this is just the first output. Many more will come, but that is not the real excitement. You know, the real excitement is this: even with the small portion that we've been getting from large-scale mining companies since 2022, many people don't know. But that gold is not given to the Bank of Ghana or the PMMC now gold board in Ghana. That gold is sent outside the country, refined in refineries outside the country, and then sold to Ghana in a form of bullion, refined gold. So we don't get to refine the gold in our own country to retain that value. The refining fees here, the refining charges end up in multinational banks outside Ghana. Now, the reason why this is a game changer, that this gold has come in a form of Dory, raw gold. We will assay it here. We can and will refine it in Ghana. So the refining charges will stay here. If we buy it, the silver is ours. It will stay here. We will decide what to do with the silver. And this will not only lead to reserve accumulation, but also create jobs and many other opportunities for Ghanaians. And so this is why we think the media must begin a conversation about the contribution of large-scale mining companies to reserve accumulation and local value retention. It is about time we had that conversation and got a commitment from large-scale mining companies to do more than they have done over the years. 10% is definitely not enough. If they can't beat this, if they can't match this 100%, at least 30, 40, 50% will give us the kind of returns we need as a country. Thank you very much for coming.
So that this is history. The first time in the history of Ghana, a Ghanaian in a short space of time, and just 6 months old, or the diamond man legitimately, legally, or starting a Juma and do 1 month. With many gold over $20 million at the Ghana. Say, Monto. In first one in Kakrumha. Remember, under the leadership of Sami Jemfi Gold Board, about to be about 2 refineries in Ghana. Do you know that? Recently, Sami Jemfi paid a visit to one of the refineries under the leadership of Sami Jemfi, and the gold no yam fan kwa brochen refining. Now bro for ntie and some beton. Today we are refining the gold in Ghana. And this is what Gold Board aye. Right now, if we get more Ghanaians taking over our gold industry, do you know where we will get to? Because we're in less than 1 month. And in less than 1 month, so what to me, 110 kilograms. Then let's say minimum, if every month they are able to get even a year 20 kilograms or 30 kilograms, do you know what we are talking about as a nation? And if all these gold they mine in Ghana, they hand them over to Gold Board for Gold Board to assay, to refine in Ghana. Now, cost sikari kawaha. Now we are able to pay them and then save some of them. Do you know where we are going to get to? At a point, and at a point to come. Yeah, Bobby Siampo as a nation. But you see, time Ibrahim Mahama from 2024 and the Kufuado or started apply say he wanted to also mine after that man fold up. The NPP started insulting Ibrahim Mahama. They started insulting John Mahama. But NPP Kufuado. And omututu obedi na omo company bia sebio what that credibility and capacity to mine like abrofo de na omo ye no. It is only Ibrahim Mahama's company that could do that job, and it is not said Obi handing over the company to him on a silver platter. He had to fight to get it. He had to work with the experience and then that credibility what to me I gather around the world, and the man qualified to take over that man. So let's not joke with these kind of things. Sasika when na anka brofo ne 2 years come dey ko. Enti make sure say MPP no mo montana position be 42 years. After 42 years no na ye nyina ye na sisi ye na Ghana no ejina ye na nyoma ye ntia ase ne ate ase because saa de we nyina MPP ba power omo be say no. Ne ati krom ha no mo de eye de ejapade ba ye. Anka saa ejapade no je na mo be so mo ye ni o. Na nka mo be so mo de saa eye man ni nyina e koma brofo. Na no de ya wo. Abrofo no come on na companies ni nyina ye omo dia na eye Gabi Ekufuado ne bedi etuo omo na companies ni omo dia e wa abrochire nti na nka omo ton man ni nyina dia ma omo ho abrochire nti abrofo to gold na nka omo dia kwa abrochire na yakoton ama omo ho e na Ghana for ya mpene, and these people they still have that agenda on the table. So this is history in the making, and this is not news bia I was say a deal ho agro. This is something we have supposed to have a conversation about for about 6 months. Masa Ghana, you bet my boka. Bank of Ghana bet my boka. I don't care. Ghana energy sector, a bet my G3. Abra ye fix it. I don't care. As far as the edisika ebefie and the economy is stable, that is what I care about. And remember, you be inheriti and Ghana and this be inheriti energy sector na ekase ne daho na over $1.2 billion, and almost to a Karamanaka less than 700 million. Time a Bank of Ghana, MDC buyer ebe take over. A car na a Bank of Ghana. Sa a canon still Bank of Ghana eda hoko. Let me tell you, Sauba now beto say eka 10 million dawa. To fight that debt, you need to understand say every single day that debt accumulates interest. It is a NDC ba power. Now say Bank of Ghana aboka $9 million ana bibi dawa. Remember, say NDC and I say omoba be solve a kind of problem. You need to understand say every step you take to solve that problem, you have to spend money. It's probability say you being able to solve that problem, no, you are going to incur debt. Now, when you incur that debt, that means say that is your breaking point. That is where you take level. So when you take level from there, that is when you recalibrate the system and now start to go in for profit. I will not be surprised if today there is news out to say Bank of Ghana, Aboka, it is the overflow now, if 2023-24 now, MPP for Jan Hono, and no, they are trying to solve. Also, the Biabu Saba say, banking cleanup, no. Adentina Ugu Bank say this say guno. Ombeka say we had to spend money to close down banks, and this is the same thing happening at the Bank of Ghana. It is in the Bank of Ghana here an audit. Near the Bank of Ghana about $15 million. You need to understand. Say, they need to find a way to fight that debt. Now, at that moment, you will fight it and create losses. Those losses, and then you breaking point. It means to say going forward, you will be able to now start taking level. Now, when you get gold board, you get some mining companies, you get some of the government institutions making money and bringing money in. What it tells you, then they say at a point, everything will take shape. At a point, after a year or two, now things will start to take shape. I want about now economy now then so into one. Apart from the AC. And now the AC in 2024, your bulk out Bank of Ghana over 60 billion. Nina, we could not account for those monies. Free power, now, what is going to happen from now? And I say the positives now are buying with air chucking. It is slowly eating into the negatives. Now, as the positives are eating into the negatives, what happens is that the positives drop. It is a Canada high. And NDC for positive in the ha. What it's going to do is it needs to come down and eat into this negative, into a bediko negative way. A better from to argue say NDC is making losses. No, what is happening is say the positive will have to come down all the way, eat into the negative to diminish the negative. It's about say positive neighbor down, not negative neighbor down. But say then the negative will disappear. Now when the positive gets to this point, because not positive because the positive had to eat into the negative. So profits now be making it has to serve or solve that problem the negative has created. And to say 20 Ghana now or solve a 15 Ghana problem. What is going to happen is over 20 Ghana and then solve 15 Ghana problem. Not sebio usikaka 5 Ghana. Obibeka say masawaboka no. Because what you have done and I say, 20 Ghana 15 Ghana now or the service a Canada 5 Ghana abede or positive you have to start riding on, and that is what is happening at the Bank of Ghana. And to be Bank of Ghana boka with Jimmy because the Bank of Ghana came to inherit a debt that they had to find ways to solve it or fight it. It is on the 20 Ghana, fighting 15 Ghana cities. Now say, or the 15 Ghana cities out of the 20, 8 years Sakana. Obibeka say, now 20 Ghana and went to 1 year, you 30, and son I went to 15. Or say, no, I need to take out 15 Ghana to clear the 15 Ghana debt. I beg 5 Ghana cities, which is a positive number. Now I can start building on it. Into when you see Bank of Ghana record, and the Bank of Ghana, Boka say, it is not losses. These are the negative that they use the positive to fight. And Intina say Bank of Ghana, Boka, Ghana, Igua. Why is the dollar stable? Why are we still recording a lower inflation rate? It is because the Bank of Ghana at the same time fighting the losses. They are being very reasonable about their spending. Into 20 Ghana or fighting 15 Ghana or the 15 Ghana no 5 Ghana. They are not using the 5 Ghana to just go buy food. They are making sure say 5 Ghana or the move 2 Ghana bet your light bill, or the move 1 Ghana bet your water bill, or the move 30 pesos. It's what happens and say obeji swaboka, but at the end of the day, we cheer a lot of problems and 5 cities and to me solve it. Then what happens is circa 2 cities they can start building on the 2 cities. Into realistically, you cannot tell me it's a Bank of Ghana boka. No, actually with Jimmy. And you see the inflows. Senya abino edisika eye juma the internally generated funds abino kobo besia obontene because saban way a lazy government anka the government should have gone out borrowed money and say, oh, yes, you have power, no, Bank of Ghana and Boka. But this government is trying to recalibrate the system. You are going to get shocks. You are going to struggle. And that is what happens. The moment you do that and you get to your level, then the country start to cruise. So from next year, no, you will see, say, our indicators will start to be positive throughout because they are biting the bitter pill now. Some John Sami Jenfimo and other institutions here, no, they are basically building Ghana your finances because now Jiagu. Now Jiagu. Let's not listen to MP before GB4. Oh, and Bank of Ghana Boka. Bank of Ghana Boka, no, at the end of the day. I don't care. What I care about is Bank of Ghana Boka. Dollar was 17, no. So Bank of Ghana knows what they are doing. And that is what we need to understand. Now, my story from the MPP, they are a very dangerous group, and you have to be very careful about them. The reason why I say that, say, utie sa video we are, you'll be surprised.
You bought pa and Koya, Uko food, Kona Wuni Kuku.
The Abayan is a my country, I'm doing the far from Malcolm Evu. We drew one team more. Hey, Mahama, yeah, Jessica, Mahama, yeah, Jessica, and I'm the man, video cracker. To make kid a Kujani be. Me feed you can't tell you, baby. Then why just a pick up food, a pick up food? I will see you. I'm over float them. Look over the near woman. Oh, I mean, you haven't got music on me. And I was just up far from you. When you actually like one, you can't even take that to be no more. My father's over for the other from Caribbean and got I mean, I'm going to drink cocoa, Biasi. You need to be high. You want to drop with your agent. Oh, I'm not going to come in the move. Then you'll be on a farm to go through. And then you'll be on a boat. It's a Papano. A far be clear. I mean, so one now will be a medium card or them to better you. We live in a baby. You are no zoo, when you deem will be a back, I said. And I'm saying, Manaquina. Come on, Jim Rough. Oh, and near my mamma and Sasso, say a day. Angela. No, I can't perform. No more, I didn't penny for people and penny for more. There's only MVP party in the moody. We are, I say, we are having gone with a name and come from baby. No, I'm a film. What I say, you're grown baby. And about baby can't tell me that. Because I'm kind of a mamma can be cry. My country, actually, more better. And a young papa, oh, more to my head. I'm sure you'll mind. Oh, another man wanted to remember. I'm assuming you've been to yes, I have Becca. I've got British Germany, you know, with my British Yabuma Cocola. No, you move, I will remind Cacagranaja. Munum Quaji, my king. No, 5 minutes. They don't make me 5 minutes. That's my some no ground. No, my being said, we'll move with you. There's a moment to make a 7 cat. Come back and eat, one better about to and I'm demanding more. A year desert and then you may not quenya. Bahama. You
see, MPP are a very dangerous political party. And as we move as a nation, Wontumi said they use a lot of people. Oh, the Omodia Branty. And Omo Nomiti Krumo Crampo, Omoso me Kukuya from Ponomu Pose Bibi Koso, Omako Ba Pata Wum baby. Ano Dompre, Patricia PJ, the two Jenny. And you see, Sade no Muya Yeninano, they start all the jandam from the Ashanti region. Makachra must say, MPP, so mo be Jimmy almost starting was Santimemu. Makachra Ghana for Sasamuya, Mojo Sameboa. Every time MPP so Jimmy be almost starting was Santimemu. And you see, every time Biano, on my party bia, no cry your friend no cry on kebi. And they always try destroy people, use people and dump them. And something about the MPP from the day I say party no. So man dump you and someone to answer no mukuwa to actually. But you see, enyansafona sebio edun pempen so bia MPP use do no. Omo to be tranka say that be enye sane a chichire man. They all come out and speak truth. No binim said a Debbie Baba Emma Hopsna Doye Abetina Akasetia MPP. No binim said a Debbie Baba Emma Kennedy Japan and the Kennedy action with MPP mo akot chain. A Debbie Baba amende en kwara sebio omodros endru nine de anim seba omia betuma mama musika se omundi Kennedy atam say ye bia ni tiri so. That is the MPP. That is the Mahamudu Bawumia MPP. Samira Bawumia MPP. That is the MPP and ye nyina ye hu the kind of party omo ye. And come say brand with life. All because yenko asantimemu, yenko twatro, yenhyehyɛ asɛm, yenfa janda muntu nipa bitrim, na yemma nipa bi ndwene sɛ amanfo na sebio. You see, so you Ghana ni na wadwene adwuma. Never listen to the MPP because omo agimi. Omo so omo agimi, omo nyina na mabodam, and I keep telling you people, me say, una munwuram na ko hu MPP ni, na sɛ uko hu ɛyɛ den wo wa. Di nkan ku MPP ni ɔyɛ asantini na sɛ na woku wo no. Me say, na munguram na hu MPP ni oya santini na hu wo wa. Dinkan mantam MPP ni no, dinkan chichire ni boduam. Ansa na weku wo no because ukoku wo na wombra no na sa MPP ni asantini no okuta MPP flag no, okuta bafu or the be wo. The MPP, they are a very dangerous political party. Enti ayana mama mutututu MPP for say any day biano, don't give them the opportunity. Omoba unchanya, you're very alert. Always make sure nessa omo de wube di juma, omo be yusu. Now you say we're another courtroom. Another courtroom, another banga, another banga. Aya edubwa in case listen ye. Another mirror Mexico. Another banga, another banga. Aya edubwa in case this waba kwabena edubwa caused 2.5 million Ghana cedis to be sent to Rashida Sani's Wanza Limited from BNC bank account. We abayua na sebio oye juma ema obi aye freno eye kwabene dubu ahin. Another banger. And the banger is the dawson. Or see, Your Honor, my lord, you see, or see kwabene dubu ahin ne ye juma. O mamitam sika pole 2.5 million new Ghana cedis. Mami chiro. You got a 2.5 million new Ghana. Oh, menjia. One at dahono. Tete Ghana no. 20 Ghana no. Ya beshi sha ahwiaka nkwa 45,000. Wabi shie sike guo. Enkoho. 2.5 million new Ghana no. It is a tete. 10,000. Articulate. Nkwa 30,000. Wabi shie sike guo. Bii. No wie. No adana no ko na fofraba. Bii. Sa sika no. Abraya we say. Eye edubo ahema ne transfer sa sika ne koma ama abibi ye frɛ no eye den Rashida Sani eye national security for sika otam 2.5 million new Ghana tete Ghana sika no mo amuti asantemem no mo amuni menhia pa no uwura entrance no ma wo na ya to no ekwan na da ho ni nyina no ahwiaka 30,000 omo nyina ba no mo yegu bra no bokɔ sa sika ne edubo ahen tam ma koma ma me baako wei edi ene da ho te ha ne yeso so nsam so your friend Rashida Sani's Wanza Limited almost sending sikani free BNC bank account edubu ahen ena instructed maami a your friend Mildred Donko or say me ena edubu ahen mami yi sa sika no every the national security for accounts 2.5 million Ghana cedis. Tete Ghana skano se opeso ka about 250 billion. Pay. Obato nakato Ghana nyina ni kumasi nyina still enso 250 billion. Enye sikawa. And the court asema wate wa masum no sika podio 2.5 million new Ghana. Tete Ghana no 250 billion. South Central so kosi santase ewura aya bantama ebetume dwiri dan ho nyina egu esijan foforo. I'm telling you 250 billion. Just say what one has a whole tete, but it's all good. A court, let the process work. Now another banger. You know court. I was given pre-signed checks to withdraw and wire transfers. Mildred Donko, third prosecutor witness in Edubuahin's case, tells court. My man say, She, ono no, obeba no, na check, yasin signed the ho. And a brother friend no pre-signed. Obeko no sign it. Na oba yesi sa check we confess ko transfer kwa 100 billion, 300 billion, 400 billion. Or say the human say oba no atam no akọ send transfer. Che say na sika we dubu ahen ho a otam Ghana sika or so send kwa ha, otam Ghana sika or so send kwa ha. 50 billion Ghana and say mo amote asantime mu no menhia enche ho right ho no no 50 billion ahwiaka be 450 omunyina ba pe no be hwegu still endu sa sika no sa sika nyina ko MPP asemesi ho and then the ejina court another banger eya witnesses no e kirechirem we ni sika afa di pansemo sa sika we ebetuma yeswami interchange yebetuma si konfo no che eya den eya statue nkwa 545,000 ukumase me ka kire wo sa sika we sa 2.5 ebetuma si konfo no che statue sa konfo no che yebetuma si bia ofie bia mu na ni sika no bodua na gold yebetuma ye bi sa sika nyina MPP fo edubu ahu afa edi we eya court another banger Kobna Edubuahen sent huge sums of monies from BNC account to friends and businesses, including proprietor of Alhaji's wife, Wache Rashida Sani. Mukaisa me kachira musa sama amena. Your friend Rashida sa Alhaji Alhaji's wife Wache esma bibi oton Wache akotoship. Sama amena mukaisa menemo kan semi fa besides what's the name? Ansa, what's the name? What's the first name? Sa boy been no age national, and I'm so surprised to say that boy he's a pre-second. Your friend besides give me the name. Something Ansa. He's still at the National Signal Bureau. MPP for video Jimmy bought bruta. Sa boy no Aslausu and the share the National Signal Bureau. The boy is still working there as we speak. That boy on an ejuma wema den or ejuma wema edubuahen. Do you remember that boy made a scandal? The NDC are still keeping that boy at the National Signal Bureau. He's still there. Ben Ansa or your pre-second or that day. Or na or adopting den bongo ideas no. Sa boy na kochi bongo ideas or the idea shade it no. The NDC are still keeping that boy at the National Signal Bureau. I'm telling you, he's still there. Or no, na or in between edubuahen and this maame no stolen cars ni nyina no and na e kofa problem bre Shatawale no it was this guy Ben Ansa go and search or that one National Signal Bureau NDC for no it do sometime I saw my bodam. What is Ben Ansa doing at the National Signal Bureau? Mabodam. Why is that boy still there? Why is he still? This is a boy who hacked your system in 2020. This is the boy who led the hacking of your system, destroying your system. Election amuwini ye. Omukache Ghana for say you cannot collate elections. Ben Ansa any the group. Oni Anochi any those criminals. That those are the people who did it. This boy has been kidnapping people. Ben Ansa no kutatuo botuo Ghana. National Signal Bureau, not Oye Jumama Aya Akwawe Edubuahen. These are criminals. Why are you keeping him there? You want to lose the next elections? These are people who are going to take information and go give back to Akufo-Addo and Bawumia. Jimmy. Are you people stupid? Why are you still keeping Ben Ansa? Why are you keeping Ben Ansa? Ben Ansa, a robber, a murderer, this foolish boy. Omukunkum nipa, abducting nipa. Then you still keep this boy at the National Signal Bureau? Are you people insane? Ready. I mentioned I can't crave any upon. Hey, you're just 12 minutes to close. Ghana National Association of Teachers, I can sing in there, and I want to stress a little bit on it. And I agree with them to some points. Start reading on here. The Ghana National Association of Teachers has raised concerns over what it describes as insufficient budgetary allocation to basic education. President Prosper Techi speaking after the association's national council meeting at Ejiso Abankro, called for increased investment and the establishment of a dedicated fund for basic education. And let's go listen to the president of Ghana National Association of Teachers.
Council again has observed with great concern the inadequate budgetary allocation to the basic education level within the Ministry of Education. The truth is that in the year 2026, only 990,500,000 Ghana cedis. I'm picking the figure again. In the year 2026, that is this year, if you look at the budgetary allocation to the Ministry of Education, only 990 million Ghana cedis, 990,500,000 Ghana cedis, representing 9.31% of the entire education budget, was allocated to the basic education. And we think this is woefully inadequate, in as much as we are concentrating on the senior high schools, which we applaud government for. We think that it is time to shift its attention to the basic schools. At least that is the foundation, and we need to lay a good foundation for the future, or for the senior high schools. And that is why we are calling on government that it is obvious that quality public education is not possible without adequate funding. Hence, Council urgently calls on government to increase the allocation to the basic level and the institutions of a dedicated fund for public basic education. I
support the Ghana National Association of Teachers. In fact, I believe that the amount of money you allocated to a year the education ministry when it comes to basic education, honestly, I believe it's not enough. If we want to get a free SHS or second cycle education papa, the basics should be the best. And NDC is known for paying more attention to the basic schools and our basic education. And I believe, I support what Ghana National Association of Teachers are saying. In fact, we need to have a dedicated fund for basic education. The way I want a dedicated fund for health, you want a dedicated fund for energy. We should be able to, at least for basic education, we should have a dedicated fund there. This is for infrastructure, it's for expansion, it's for making sure the Enquarana Omunyendru SS they will get the necessary materials. Because if we are not able to prepare these young kids at the basic level, Yomudu SSR, they become a waste of time. And for every senior high school and our second cycle education to work or become successful, you need a stronger basic education. I believe, what National Association of Teachers are saying, it is very true and it's on point. The government should listen to them. It's very important because and they are not saying the government isn't trying or the government isn't bringing money, but they are saying it is not enough. The kind of work we need to do, the kind of a basic education, we all believe, we all understand, it needs to be a lot. The attention we are giving to second cycle education, it is good, it is great, but it is looking like we are neglecting the basic education. And in Korano, class 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, JSS 1, 2, 3. That's what we have fundamentals in the writer. The SS is going to be tough because according for SS, not JSS, not Wontumi ready. Wontumi troye comprehension Wontumi nye Wontumi enye bibia enye math odu SSR obetena school keke ni wotwam. So we need to pay more attention to the basic schools or basic education. So I believe the government, the finance ministry, the education ministry, you guys should sit and meet at a point. We need to at least a fund for basic education, a fund, a photobia, a woha, enquire omoko from nursery to a year JSS3 I was say you to me Emma Nikoho. In this era, we are not even supposed to have any basic education and at school demo I say. And this is in schools and a tree. And this is in a lack a desk, materials to learn. Teachers are supposed to be accommodated well in the basic education level. Because a whole and a BBA a whole and a addition. Let me tell you, second cycle education, It is basically to go chew and pour. But when it comes to basic, it is not chew and pour. When it comes to basic, they are now beginning to learn new things. They are now being introduced to grammar. They are being introduced to writing. They are being introduced to how to write, to express themselves. They are being introduced to arithmetic, math, how to do calculation. They are being introduced to new things. So from the beginning, so when you're write, now say more basic, I understand it. You're yet. Now so miss that liner. SS will be a waste of time because if you don't have the basics, you cannot read and understand. We need to pay more attention to basic education. And I agree with the National Association of Teachers. With this, I agree with them. And I expect the government, Mr. President, the Education Minister, the Finance Minister, this is something we need to pay attention to. In the next budget, let's try and move things around a little bit. And if even a fund in the and then multi-million-dollar companies can put something in it, and we can at least allocate some of our revenue into that fund to help sustain and protect young people who are basic level, it will help us. So I support the Ghana National Association of Teachers on this matter. We need to all speak on this matter. We need to put our voices in there. This is not political. This is not about NDC, NPP. This is about we helping building the foundation of our children. Because say young Korano foundation at the primary JSS level, I'm telling you, the INO SS in your waste. You want Kora and the more SS or Wontumi myself. You want Kora or SS that they cannot express themselves because they did not get the basics right. So let us all try and get the basics right. So please, this plea from the Ghana National Association of Teachers, we should not play with it. We should pay attention to it. And I hope, I believe, and because I know the Finance Minister is an intelligent guy, I understand what I'm talking about when it comes to basic education. The budget that is coming, they should try and create a little room for basic education. If it's a fund we have to put together, let us try and do that. Now, the next thing they spoke about, a year, something we call a year, the Ghana National Association of Teachers is calling for an extension of maternity leave for female teachers from 3 months to at least 4 months. Now, President Prosper Techi, speaking after the association's National Council meeting at Ejiso Bankro, said the demand forms part of broader concerns over conditions of service and investment in basic education. Ghana National Association of Teachers, SACO, the annual meeting, at Zambako Masade Tuja, and say, Omo Pese, Sebio, Ema, Omo ye teacher for Omo Kowa. They be omunya a 3 month leave, In fact, anka ye 4 months anka omo pay. In fact, this is also laudable. In fact, to be very fair, oko baby to Canada, oko wa you can get a year leave. Yeah, a year. You get 6 months paid and 6 months not paid. You see, so if some places are able to do a year, because carrying a kid for 9 months, remember, so we are. The most difficult part is the first 5 to 6 months of making sure akorana be nipa. So we have to also really look, especially some people get help from their husbands. Some people get help from if they have money, babysitters and all that. In Ghana, it is not like that. Obana Sebio wakochim and I say 1 year 9 months it becomes a full-time job for Obano to make sure akorana wati akorana be nipa. So we need to at least consider the kind of burden especially in Ghana when they give birth. You see, teachers, some people are if you don't have passion, so imagine a teacher ni or child with school or chen kwara or don kwara or nen kwara tidebia now or spending a lot of her time with these kids. Now akwara mono now she can only spend 3 months with the kid. It is tough. I will say at least we need to listen to what they are saying. 4 months, 4 month leave, say maybe at the 4th month, say a half salary now. At least some people will be able to take that. We can make the 4th month optional. If you want to take the 4th month, you will take half of your salary. I think people will do that. And I say we can negotiate and meet them halfway. In the 4 months, because okay, 3 months now you'll be paid. The fourth month, what is going to happen? And they say, fourth month, so person will take care. You are going to take maybe a quarter of your salary or half of your salary. Now, if your mom will say we have 4 months, so I buy it to you for the last month, the fourth month, something can be done about it. But I believe, say, we are a country where we have gotten to, we should be able to give a teacher for and now embark, especially in public service, over 4 months of their maternity leave. Carrying a baby for 9 months, teacher for the to be to their 9th month and son we have seen a lot of them, and you see they go through a lot. It's not easy. They are going up and down Obuha school or child and stairs or soft for no cover no buffer. We see them the way they struggle during their pregnancy. These are things we need to consider. And what's that called? Onya time crampo. Remember, let's be honest. And the Ghana awariano oba and the bema wa 80% of the job is being done by the woman. So imagine Obako Jan and also 8 months and actually wanyam wabewo or sabafia or besha akorano start 3 months a full-time job. Bema to me free jumaba akorano kura also the mumponka say and then the mamiso muna also kodaka crap. Men in Ghana 90% they don't even do that. And that's something I didn't need yet. And I don't blame them because so we need to also sometimes consider these women. We need to understand they go through a lot, especially where we come from. A chrome had there, everything is shared. Me na me Jim Yankasa member me in our war hospital. I was dressed up. I came home. I had to share the time with my wife. Time I also I'm up. I'm taking care of the kid. Time I made that. It is like that here. But in Ghana are taking about 90% of the work, and we need to understand them. It is not easy. I also believe sir, a plea away from the Ghana National Association of Teachers. The government should sit and relook at it, especially when we have a female vice president. They should basically go to the vice president, sit with her, then get to a point. I remember the vice president raised this issue some time back about maternity leave for women. Not all pray for extension. And I believe, if they reach out to the vice president, this conversation will be a smooth one. They are going to meet at a point whereby we will all be happy and excited about a year maternity leave. Now, a year Ghana National Association of Teachers, can be for recruitment, teacher recruitment. The
association has taken note of the decision by government to recruit over 7,000 teachers, as against the over 100,000 qualified teachers from the colleges of education and other tertiary institutions. This is not only disturbing, but unfortunate in the light of the promise made by the ministry or the Minister for Finance during the 2025 base pay negotiations, and the promise was to recruit more workers, which includes teachers, into the public sector. In view of the threat of unemployment to the national security, the National Council of the Ghana National Association of Teachers demands an astronomical increase in the number to be recruited, and also calls on government to ensure that those who completed their training earlier get the opportunity before those who completed later. Within the Ghana National Association alone, within the past 3 years, we have had more than 10,000 of our members who have retired or have passed on. And we think that with data presented recently by the National Teaching Council, even on the number of teachers who have left the shores of Ghana, we wish, and we know we have a listening president, if he could issue an instruction for the number to be recruited into the security service be increased. We request same as a union that the workload on our members has increased. And for that matter, we wish that the number should be looked at again and be expanded.
Adeng, what would say say that's it, where you good, where would say say I've recruitment bremo. Moko so ade mo kochira mo nchira de no. Obi o ha teacher de ne ko gina baby so onko chira de 3 months no ma school da. 2 weeks no see school them. Lazy teaching. But when it comes to teacher recruitment, this government doesn't want to deceive any trainee graduate. What this government is doing is that it's taking its time to employ the number it can basically pay. Boss, you know the backlog there. Sometimes I want you two people to take your minds back. Now, someone say, it's a teacher for sending a form before I buy way back. And aban we buy, is there room? You need to understand, aban we bachelor say offer 7,000. Now this government has not said it say offer teacher for BM. Now, do you want this government to come in and say, my teacher for 50,000? Now, in the next 2 months, they'll be on the streets screaming? No, it is sometimes, you are biting too much. So, you always, that is why African politicians lie to you people. A government comes to power, the government is being realistic and being like, you know something, I can say I've employed all these people. By the next 2-3 months, these people with the hopes are, majority of them will be on the street again screaming. Why don't you employ the realistic number you can employ? So you come here and you pay way and you pay way and you pay way. Mwanga say jumana mo yana kasano effort send abudi gum. Manja sheshe montade said they move free Sudan. Manja sheshe montade said moji just kwaleba Sudan. Mr. President, and we need this and the number is too small. Massa. President Ben Mpeso before be juma. Abai Ben Mpeso before juma. If the capacity ought to be far on your dang. And this government has never said anywhere else to say they are not willing to do what? Employ more. The government is saying when they believe, say, Sikada or say for Jumatia car, Obefow, now space in your uncle found Kogum, Namusambe street so Enkasakasa. You are asking for too much. Mokasado, Debia, my baby, Yantis the teacher for the my baby. Yantis the teacher for so this month the young salary, ya domino, Yomemo, Debia, my femoto, Monfamaye, Madame Abidjan Jantra for Debia, Mama Bibindi. You people sometimes have to give back. Debiana, teacher for there, you pay way, Ubusa, and you pay way, and you pay way, and you pay way. Teacher for me as I for. Ask for one thing and then insist that thing is done. Then we move to the next thing. And then my buamu, Jamukanina, Menemo, you're fine. And so, dear teacher for the Debia. Bibia and Sumo. Moko programmer ya charge olofa na ma yibi kofie na ma beka kire say ediane ne kura nya de moko program moko yase mo bonsa ya twitwa mo kaye mo bonsa ye teacher for ro dwame na say na be 2 minutes ago na mo feel me about 2 minutes ago na mo Kevin o ya di o time na me your first 2 stories. Hey Kevin, first na me pen asemo but Kevin dear hey maternity asemo ken hwese bia media for nyina mpo anka hwese wafa we afedi o say boy we say Jimmy for boy we 5 minutes ago na teacher for nyina Kevin yanye wudenie uye buei Kevin yanye wudenie me dane mo kakra bia boy we fucking guys people and this rage mama ai teacher for ko party a omo be yi omo monsa omo ko party ase a omo gi jollof from se bia ko si moto so omo moto nkitingiti bi wo ho na omo yi jollof free bi no ko si moto so na mo sa betena se de bia 77 na mo pam ntomata de bi na de bia ma come ntai go so enwumbre live band nom da ho nam ho ye hu omo de bia teacher for omo ho nyam mobo ultimu ko live band na teacher ni aba ho no da ho she long sleeves tie and die no de nam live band ase ye ta hu da papa penyini district officer district again na Friday anajo na o she long sleeve na live band ase mon kasa anyoma ne teacher for mo predodo munya sika munni ani enchambom teacher for monsa teacher for omoba outdoor na the corners yeah de bia item 13 de bia item 13 ya te ya beboa mo na mo kasa dodo jaban betuma ya na wa ye no 1995 minutes na mo feel me pa hey boy wait me say ankanya boy we party anka NPP for nkomo say man